In this video, I'm looking at the iBasso Audio CF01 TWS Bluetooth IEM adapter. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. Here is the box for the CF01. Pretty ordinary affair. What do we got here? Bluetooth 5.0. The codecs supported are SPC, AAC, and aptX. Signal to noise ratio is 98 dB. And yeah, we'll get into all of that as we go along. But for now, let's have a look at the actual item itself. Here's the case. On the back of the case here is a USB Type-C port for charging. And on the front, there's a tiny little LED that shows the charging status. And this is the button to open the lid. And you can see that it's a fairly large case. It does fit in a pocket, but it's kind of bulky. There's a good reason for that though. But let's have a look inside now. Boom. So there they are, obviously with IEMs attached. The IEMs do not come with the product, but this is the iBasso IT00. So here they are. Since I've previously paired them with my phone, as soon as I pulled them out of the case, they've automatically connected to my phone. So they're ready to go just like that. As you can see, they're fairly small. There are other similar devices available, which I'll talk a little bit about later. But for now, I'm just going to say that well, let's talk a bit more about the physical aspects of these before we go any further. So pretty small. There is a single button on the top of each module here, and that is for your basic general playback and call controls. Little LED light in there as well on each one that shows you the pairing status or connected status. And while we're here, I'll just quickly go over the interior of the case. You can see here, they've got these silicone sort of pillows in there, and they do a really great job of protecting your IEM from damage. There's also one on the underside of the lid. And you can see there's heaps of room in there for IEMs. And I have tried much larger IEMs. I tried the FIO FH7, which is a large IEM, and I tried a few others, and everything fit in here without any issues. And I've also got my largest, super large ear tips on here, and all that fits in there just perfectly. So that is why the case is so large. It is not as pocket friendly, but it is definitely makes it more versatile in terms of which IEM you want to connect to. Which reminds me, this is an MMCX connector, so you can only use it with MMCX IEMs unless of course you use some type of adapter. So it's not really a drawback, but something to keep in mind. If you only have 2-pin IEMs, then this would not be a good choice for you, obviously. Now, in terms of battery life, these are kind of average, not great. You get about 4 to 4.5 hours per charge from the modules themselves. That's 4.5 hours of actual playtime. And you get another 4 or 5 charges from the case. So all in all, you get about 24 hours or just over 24 hours of playtime from the battery, which is, it's okay. It's not too bad. It'll get you through a day or a few days, depending on how long you're using them at any given time. But the battery life could be a bit better, especially considering the sort of size of the modules. You'd think they could fit a larger battery in there. But anyway, something I forgot to mention about this case is it actually supports wireless charging. So that is a pretty cool feature, and for some people that will be a game changer. And I guess now we'll quickly talk about the sound. And of course, Coming from iBasso Audio, if you're familiar with them, I don't even really have to say the sound quality is excellent. The sound is transparent, it's very detailed, it's very clear. Oh, and before I go any further, I just want to say the Bluetooth connectivity on these is fantastic. Very stable connection, really good range. I've been able to get further than 10 meters away from the source before it starts cutting out. But for normal use, there's no droppage, just a really solid, stable connection. And these also have an IPX5 rating, which means they're sweat resistant and resistant to sort of light to moderate rainfall as well, which is really nice to have. Anyway, back to the sound now. And like I was saying, the sound is transparent, it's detailed. It comes very close to a wired connection. You know, Bluetooth audio quality is fantastic these days. The only real thing that I noticed is there is a slight attenuation on the bass. So what I mean by that is there's slightly less bass than what you would hear when using your IEMs wired, but the difference is very small. You hardly notice it unless you're actually looking out for it. For the most part, you wouldn't even notice. I did find the mid-range to come a little bit forward, and finally I found that IEMs sounded just a touch brighter using this module. The treble sounded a little bit more forward, and whether that is due to the Bluetooth chip inside, which by the way is the Qualcomm QCC3020, whether it's because of that, I'm not sure, but yeah, the treble a little bit forward, the mid-range forward as well, and the bass slightly attenuated. But overall, a very good sound and one that I could happily live with day after day. You know, there's not a whole lot more to talk about. I'm not going to drag this video on forever. It is a simple device. They basically work exactly the same as a TWS earphone works. The same controls. One disadvantage that I find with these, and it's the same with the TRN here, is there is no volume controls on the modules themselves. You'll have to change the volume via your phone or whichever source you're using. And I tested this with my iPhone, and I also tested with the FIO M6 and the Shanling M5S. Now the reason I tested with those DAPs is because they both support aptX, and of course the iPhone only supports AAC. And I didn't really notice any change in audio quality between them, surprisingly enough. And on the iPhone, in terms of latency, really good performance. There's absolutely no delay when watching videos, and it was even playing first-person shooter games on the phone, and there is no sync issues whatsoever. The speed of the Bluetooth transmission is excellent. Overall, a very solid product, and I'm not sure if I mentioned the price. I don't think I did. And these come in at a pretty hefty $149. And that leads me on to this comparison that I'm about to do here. This is the TRN BT20S Pro. I think I got that right. And you can see it is essentially the same product, except for these connectors are actually interchangeable. So you can, I've got the 2-pin one here, but if you can actually buy separately an MMCX version of this, which is really cool. And on top of that, you know, as far as sound quality goes, audio quality, they are so very similar that I don't think I could tell them apart in a blind test, and that's just being honest. Now, one real advantage that the TRN modules here have is their battery life. Now, with the modules themselves, these get about 9 hours of playback time, and including the extra charging from the case, in total you get about 90 hours, I think. Now I might be remembering that wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm remembering that wrong, but it is something huge. It's like at least 3, maybe 4 times longer than the iBasso, which is insane. Now these also have the same Qualcomm QCC3020 Bluetooth chip inside. So on a technical level, and they support aptX and AAC. So on a technical level, damn, they are so very close. But the thing is, with the TRN here, these are only $69. So that is less than half the price of the iBasso. But there are a couple of drawbacks or disadvantages with the TRN. First of all, this is the top of the case is sort of soft, so you're not going to get the same type of protection that you do with the hard plastic, rigid plastic iBasso case and the silicone padding inside. So if you've got flagship IEMs or like really expensive IEMs, you'd probably feel a lot more secure with this case than the TRN one if you're throwing it in a bag or in a pocket, things like that. However, another advantage the iBasso has is it's easier to put the modules back in the case with the IEMs attached. With these ones, you sometimes have to disconnect the IEMs, but you can still fit fairly big ones in there. Another advantage that the iBasso has is this case supports wireless charging, which the TRN does not. But you know, apart from that, this one pretty much does everything that this one does. So whether that wireless charging and the extra protection is worth more than double the price is going to be up to you and what kind of IEMs you want to be using your module with. But anyway, guys, that's about it for this video. Just a quick one. Overall, I think this is a fantastic product. The price is a little bit high, but like I said, you get those extra features that so far the competitors do not have. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a like, Parfam audiophile style. And if you're new to the channel, want to see more videos like this in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, see you later.